Welcome back. The UN is warning that Palestinians are facing diminishing conditions for survival in parts of northern Gaza under siege by Israeli forces because virtually no aid has been delivered in about 40 days. The UN says all its attempts to support the estimated 65,000 to 75,000 people in Beit Hanun, Beit Lahia and Jabalia this month had been denied or impeded, forcing bakeries and kitchens to shut down. Now, earlier this month, the UN-backed assessment said there was a strong likelihood that famine was imminent in areas of northern Gaza. The Israeli military has said its 6-week-long offensive targets regrouping Hamas fighters, and it is facilitating civilian evacuations and supply deliveries to hospitals. Members of the Lebanese intelligence unit have inspected the site of an Israeli strike in southern Lebanon's Sarafah and that hit an army post on Tuesday night and killed 3 Lebanese soldiers. Sources say intensifying efforts for a truce in Lebanon have brought into focus the role of the country's army, which would be expected to keep the south free of Hezbollah weapons, but is neither willing nor able to confront the Iran-backed group. Hezbollah, though weakened by Israel's year-long offensive, has been stronger militarily than the Lebanese armed forces, which have stayed on the sidelines of the conflict even after Israel sent ground forces into South Lebanon on October 1st. While the army will likely be required to delay or deploy thousands of troops to the south after any ceasefire deal, it will need Hezbollah's nod to do so and will avoid confrontations that could trigger internal strife. According to sources, 3 people close to the army and 4 diplomats, including from donor countries, have been affected. Now, 4 Ghanaian peacekeepers have been injured after a rocket struck their base in Ramia area of southern Lebanon. The UN Interim Force in Lebanon, UNIFIL, reports that peacekeepers and UN facilities were targeted in 3 separate incidents on the same day. Another peacekeeping base was damaged by rocket fire in the southern village of Shama, where heavy fighting between Hezbollah and the Israeli army has been taking place. According to UN peacekeeping chief Jean-Pierre Lacroix, in another attack, an armed person fired directly at a UNIFIL patrol near Kirabat Salim, but where there were no injuries.
Military activities are carried out in the vicinity of UN position, then that is putting UN peacekeepers in danger. That is putting them at risk. And this is what we impress upon all parties. You know, they have the responsibility to do everything that they should do for the purpose of protecting peacekeepers. That would also include not carrying out those military activities in the very close proximity of UN position.
In a related development, the U.S. State Department spokesperson Matthew Miller believes an agreement to end the conflict between Israel and Hezbollah is within reach. White House envoy Amos Hochstein met Parliament Speaker Nabi Berri in Beirut this week, a day after the Lebanese government and Iran-backed Hezbollah agreed to a U.S. ceasefire proposal, although with comments on the content. Hochstein's mission marks the last-ditch attempt by the outgoing U.S. administration to broker a ceasefire in Lebanon. The diplomatic efforts coincide with an intensification of the war, with Israel stepping up strikes in Beirut's Hezbollah-controlled southern suburbs and striking 3 times in the capital itself in the last 3 days.
You might have seen that the President's Special Envoy, Amos Hochstein, was in Beirut today, meeting with the Speaker of the Lebanese Parliament. He gave a press statement after that where he made clear that we have made significant progress and that an agreement is within reach, but it's going to take decisions by both parties, by both Israel and Lebanon, to actually get an agreement, and that's what we're going to continue to push for. It leaves us that we're going to continue to talk to the parties to try to get an agreement. There are a number of issues. The United States, yeah, Amos, the special envoy, is the lead negotiator, but then the president has been involved at various times, the secretary has been involved at various times, and it'll continue to be an across the government focus to try and reach a diplomatic resolution, because it's critical to getting people back to their homes on both sides of the blue line. It is the full, without getting into the underlying details, which I know you'll understand, given that we're still negotiating this potential resolution, we want to see the full implementation of UN Security Council Resolution 1701, so both Israelis and Lebanese civilians can return to their homes. I'm going to answer that by saying, obviously, in the course of negotiations, proposals always evolve because it's a conversation that happens between the relevant parties and us as the mediator. So the proposal that is on the table right now is not identical to the proposal that was on the table 2 weeks ago or 2 months ago. But the overall framework that we're trying to reach is, yes, full implementation of UN Security Council Resolution 1701.